This is a test of the popcorn news broadcast system. This has been a test of the popcorn news broadcast system. Had this been an actual emergency, you would have been instructed to put on your tinfoil hat and pack your bags for the FEMA camps. This concludes this test of the popcorn news broadcast system. Hello, and welcome to Popcorn News, something to watch while you eat popcorn. Do not try to comprehend it all. Nay, just eat the popcorn. Well, there's this and there's that. There's a new moon on Sunday, June 5th. And I found that new moons, there's a switch in the cycle that something new begins. May not be immediately apparent, but thank goodness this past cycle is coming to an end. This past cycle was just Hillary Clinton says this and Donald Trump says that. And Hillary Clinton says, "Nya, nya, Donald," and Donald Trump comes back with, "Nya, nya, Hillary." And honestly, that's been the news that they've been reporting. And it's not, I mean, they could ask serious questions, say, Donald Trump, if you become president, what will you do about the unfunded pension liabilities and the impending sword of Damocles coming down? And they could ask the same of Hillary Clinton. They could ask serious questions, but they don't. And they want to just, let's just push it aside until the debates, and then for maybe 2 or 3 debates they'll ask some serious questions. And in the meantime, it's "Nya, nya, Hillary, nya, nya, Donald," and they call it the news. But the sword of Damocles is hanging over our heads in Illinois and other states. Living in Illinois these days is like having the sword of Damocles hanging over your head.
Dear young man, what's wrong? You act as though the sword of Damocles is hanging over your head.
Forbes opinion, May 31st, 2016. Puerto Rico, Illinois, and California. Public pension dominoes. That's like the domino effect. By Chuck DeVore, contributor. It's this level of government where a looming debt crisis is gathering, the likes of which make Puerto Rico seem a minor prelude. Let me read that again. It's this level of government where a looming debt crisis is gathering, the likes of which make Puerto Rico seem a minor prelude. It is like the sword of Damocles is hanging over our head in Illinois. And there's, on the Greg Hunter USA Watchdog, he had an item on his June 3rd, 2016 webcast about that Greg Manarino, I think his name has told him that there's a flattened bond yield curve that hasn't been seen since 2007, and that this is a bad sign.
And I talked to Gregory Manarino. He says, it scares me because I think that's coming here. I think that in some form that is coming here. Now, Manarino says that this is going to be a global event, and I think he's right because the debt rot is globally. It's not just a country or two. It's not just Venezuela, or it's not just Argentina, or it's not just Brazil or Romania, or it's just one. It's the entire debt market is kiboshed, including, could you imagine 3 or 4 years ago saying, wow, that Puerto Rican debt's going to be no good. They can't pay the interest. And here we have, and what happens when you can't pay the interest? You default on the debt. So here we have another headline. This just came out, and this is a UBS strategist. Okay? This guy is Matthew Mish. Here's the headline. A tsunami is about to overwhelm the debt market. Yeah, that's the tsunami of default. The defaults, according to him, have just about doubled. And they don't have to double by they doubled about 100% more. Manarino says, watch the debt market. Watch the debt market. So here's another one that comes up. PIMCO warns material risk globally of monetary policy exhaustion. Well, they've got 0% interest rates. They got quantitative easing, debt, and they're leveraging up in some emerging markets like China and European periphery. That's what the article says. But PIMCO is warning about risk globally of monetary policy exhaustion. In other words, they won't be able to make the payments. We won't be able to issue any more debt. Manarino calls me and says, you know what, dude? I think I know what those bond people see. I said, what's that, Greg? He goes, the flattening of the yield curve. And so here we go. Here it is in 2014. Okay, look at the picture here. Okay, so here's 2014. See how it's kind of healthy going up, and here is now. You see how the curve is flattening? Well, this may not mean a lot to you and me in terms of being a financial junkie, but it means a lot in terms of investing, and this is exactly the pattern right here that's set up, the yield curve flattening. In other words, near-term debt is the same price as long-term debt, the yield curve flattening, and that's the exact same thing, exact same pattern that's set up in 2001, just before the crash, 2008, just before the crash.
I've double-checked on this claim of the flattened bond yield curve, and it checks out. Market Watch. U.S. Treasury yield curve hasn't been this flat since 2007 by Ellie Alphabet Soup, because I'm not going to pronounce the last name. Alright, Ismailidou. Ellie Smiley-Doo, or whatever, May 17th, 2016. And here we have the top stories. Daily 200. Trump may generate mini wave. Clinton. Trump deserves some blame for outside events. Trump's judicial standard not workable. Top stories. There it is. Top stories. Top stories. Donald Trump tweeted out 9 graphs. We fact-checked them. So, a new moon begins Sunday, and I fervently hope that I am not going to be seeing this constant idiocy of that Hillary Clinton says this about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump says this about Hillary. It's for kindergartners. It's the level of kindergarten news. So let's shape up, news fakers.